G'day gang. Playing rusty cutouts today. No, it's not the Chevy. The Chevy's good apart from that one door. But the new whip, I went searching around, I found an unusual piece of rust. All I can assume is that, well, I know where it came from. It spent its time in Belmont. But if you look at it, this is just like brand new. And that was there. Like that. Everywhere else in the car solid. I peeled back the schmutz and stuff, sort of, you know, that sort of thing. Pulled the chairs out, the carpet and what have you. And they're all in pretty good shape with the exception of the back of the two front seats. The pockets always come off these things, and back in the day, I can't tell you how many of these I replaced. Yeah, lots. Those are speaker grills. Oh, I replaced a lot of those. But I'm not going to worry about that. I've got seat covers that are going to go over that. I'll just trim that muck off. That's no big deal. The rest of the trim, like, it's really good, this car. Has some scratches. It needs to be stuck back on. But the carpet, the dash, I don't know what they had stuck to the radio there, but that's whatever. But like, it's all the driver's chair. It's all in good shape. Now, I did have to do some things to it. I did put a water pump into it. I put a inlet manifold gasket on it. We had some oil in there. Obviously wasn't the transmission because that's a new radiator that somebody put in it prior to me. Valve cover gaskets I put on it, and a crank sensor. Just the things that fail. I am going to put a couple of engine mounts in it just because they're the thing that does fail. We disconnected the battery for the welding. Yeah. Up the side. Again, some scratches. Already painted the fuel flap, that was black before. Got to get the tint off. Got to get the guys to get the tint off. That's just crap. But she's not bad for 300,000 K, and yeah, not bad shape. So let's get back to this bit. We'll pop it into place. It's going to sit just like that. Like that. I have got a, wait, let's get it. It's a pretty ordinary old day out there. The old neodymium. She's got a bit of strength to her. Just hold that down with this. I'm going to have Jen inside here. Oh, hang on a second. Wait up. Oh, right. Get over there for a second. Get you in the spot. And stick him down like that. Like. Perfect before. I'll have to tap that down now. Alright. A little bit more fiddling about. Or was that where I had it? That might have been where I had it. About there. Yeah, as long as I can hold it somewhere down and get a start on the weld, I can tap it from there wherever I need to. So that's where we're at. I'm just going to have to tap that into place as we go. I'll turn the camera off. We're going to have Jen watching by with a bucket of water in case. It's the first time I'll try out my new lightweight carbon hat. Whoo-wee, look at that stuff, man. What does that do? Does anybody know? Full bore, buddy. Well, there's the patch. Yeah, we burned a couple of holes in her. But the next step will sort that out. We'll put some fiberglass both sides of it. And body deadener over the top of it. And should be good as gold. Rust converter. Right, that's how it started, I reckon. I've ground that out and cleaned it up, so I'm just going to spray a bit of our converter on her and let that do its job. And I don't reckon there's any more rust in that, but we'll throw some on there too and let it sit for a bit. And yuck. Yeah, we'll be back. So I've got some that's fiberglass reinforced fillet stuff. I'm going to throw it on there, and I don't know. We'll see if it looks a little nicer. It's got to be better, eh? Got to be better. Got to be better than that. I think that'll do the job. Huh? Looks much the same from underneath. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's the same sort of thing. So I'll let that go off a bit, and I'm going to spray it with some of that stuff. There we go. 3 hours into it. It'll do us just fine. I may spray a bit of that uprise stuff around here and there where it's all come off. Maybe where that crack is there, that's where another grommet is, and it's got a cut in it, so we'll do that. Yeah. Not horrible. Underneath, a naked eye, once you get some dirt and road grime and stuff on it, you won't know. And it ain't going to leak anymore, and it's not going to rust anymore. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it when but this is an Olympic Games vehicle, 2000 model VT Commodore. The Olympic Games vehicles were executives, which is your base model, and they put electric windows in. They put that little badge on the side. You got another one. You got another one there. It also came with. Oh, there's that. That's supposed to go up in there somewhere like that. It also came with this. Now, you can see that. Try down on an angle with it, no glare. Wait up, I can see what's going on now. There we go. Now you can stop right there if you wanted to. 3,000 of these vehicles were made for the Olympic Games, or modified for the Olympic Games. Official Games, yeah. And that's apparently a number for this car. So, there's been Olympic officials driving it around, going here and there all over Sydney for the Olympic Games. I was actually working 2000 at Penrith, which is just up the road from the Regatta Centre, where they did all the rowing events and also the rafting. And yeah, so we actually traded it when I was working at the yard there. They traded in 2001 from the auction the vehicle that followed the torch all the way around Australia, a red SS Commodore, with all the Holden, every option you could have was in it. GPS trackers, the biggest brakes that Holden made, the LS, the whole, it was just the duck's guts, the best trim, all the stuff. It was just the duck's guts, yeah, as I said. This one, she'll do me. Like I said, she's got some scrapes and bangs, but now I can put the trim all back in it. We'll call that job done. Have yourselves a goodie. We'll check you later. Cheers.